Okay, here's your assignment for today. I want you to work on it in class. We're going to go over some of them together. We're going to do 8, 12, 28, and 67. So your assignment is 8 through 28 even, and then 67 through 70, a little review of factoring with the number in front of the squared term. So let's go ahead and get started. Remember, we have the 4 steps here. The 4 steps are to factor the numerator and denominator separately. The second step is set the denominator equal to 0. Those are your excluded values. Third step is to cancel out common factors, and your fourth step is just to write out your answer. So be sure you have those notes handy as we're going through here. So out of the numerator, the 6 and the 9, 3 will go into both of those. So it's going to be 2a plus 3 over 12. Now, excluded values, when does the denominator equal 0? When does 12 equal 0? Well, never. So there are no excluded values. That's cool. The next step is to reduce or cancel out common factors. You can factor a 3 out of both of those. 3 goes into 3 once. 3 goes into 12 4 times. And the last step, write out your answer, 2a plus 3 over 4. And that was on the easier end. I'll, of course, pick out ones that are a little trickier as well. So let's do number 12 next. Okay, the same step to start. We're going to factor. In the numerator, 3 factors out and an x factors out. So that should be 3x. If you look at both the numbers, 3 goes into both of those, and then your x's, the smallest exponent, is 1. Nothing factors out of the denominator. Okay, this doesn't have an x, and that doesn't have a 3. They have nothing in common to factor out. In the numerator here, 3x into 3x squared is x. 3x times what will give you 3x squared. And 3x times what will give you 9x. So it's negative 3. Okay, so that was step 1. We factored, and it was just the GCF. For the excluded values, when does x minus 3 equal 0? Well, 3 minus 3 will give me 0. Cancel out the common factor. Those will cancel out. And then my final answer will just be 3x. But x cannot equal 3. Okay, so that's my simplified expression. Number 28, first step is the same. Factor out what you can. Nothing factors out in the numerator, so we'll leave that alone. In the denominator, numbers that multiply to 16 and add to negative 8, that's w minus 4 and w minus 4. For the excluded values, it's going to be 4 from either of these, so my excluded value is just going to be w can't be 4. Now these, when I cancel them out, I can really pick either one because they're both a w minus 4 in the bottom. They'll cancel out, but if the subtraction is in the wrong order, you need to be sure to leave behind a negative 1. Okay? This is like, 10 divided by negative 10. When you switch the subtraction around, it just makes it negative. So 10 divided by negative 10 will give you negative 1. Whatever divided by negative whatever will give you negative 1. So my final answer, can I sneak it in here? Yeah. Negative 1 over w minus 4. And w cannot equal 4. Okay, so my answer written out with the excluded value there. Okay, and that'll be as hard as those problems get today. We also need to review something else. Let me jump down to that. So here is 67. When you have a number in front of the c squared, you have to multiply these two. So numbers that multiply to 14 and add to 15. Okay, this number just comes here. Take 2 times 7 to get that number there. Now, even before doing this, it's 2c squared in the top corner, 7 in the bottom corner. And whatever those two numbers are, they'll go in the opposite corners here. So numbers that multiply to 14 and add to 15, when these are 1 apart, it's always going to be 1 in the number. It'll usually be 1 in the number. So 1 and 14 will multiply to 14 and add to 15. I could have put 14 and 1, 1 and 14. That's commutative. It doesn't matter. So you can kind of see what I did. I broke up the 15c into 1 plus 14. 1 plus 14 is the same as 15. So I didn't really change anything. I'm just writing it away here where it will now factor. So let's see. What goes into both of these? Nothing. What goes into both of these? 2c. What goes into both of these? Just a c. And what goes into both of these? 7. So my answer is going to be c plus 7 and 2c plus 1. Okay, this is all we're doing with this right now. We're going to combine this with what we're doing today. Tomorrow, we're going to mix it all up, but we really need to know how to do this. This is something that I'm actually pretty concerned about, okay? So again, I'm trying to show you how to do this so you'll be successful in getting here. And hopefully it's starting to sink in. Go ahead, you should have these at the top of your homework. You should be working through the rest now. Get to it. So that's your homework with those problems already done.